Missile appears to be intermediate range, U.S. military says follows sixth and most powerful nuclear test yet on September 3. Follow @Politics for all the latest news, and sign up for our daily Balance of Power newsletter. North Korea's second missile launch over Japan in as many months flew far enough to put the U.S. territory of Guam in range, a provocation that comes days after the United Nations approved harsher sanctions against Kim Jong-un's regime. The intermediate-range missile fired from Pyongyang at 6:57 a.m. on Friday flew over the northern island of Hokkaido, reaching an altitude of 770 kilometers, 478 miles, before landing in the Pacific Ocean. It traveled 3,700 kilometers, 2,300 miles, further than the 3,400 kilometers, 2,100 miles, from Pyongyang to Guam, which North Korea has repeatedly threatened. The range of this test was significant since North Korea demonstrated that it could reach Guam with this missile, although the payload the missile was carrying is not known. David Wright, a co-director of the Union of Concerned Scientists, wrote in a blog post. North Korea, which has fired more than a dozen missiles this year, had pledged to retaliate after the UN Security Council punished the country for its sixth and most powerful nuclear test on September 3. Investors largely shrugged it off on Friday, showing that financial markets are growing accustomed to North Korea's provocations and the responses of the U.S. and its allies. A North Korean Foreign Ministry official told reporters at Beijing's international airport that Friday's launch was a normal part of strengthening our nuclear deterrent, according to NHK. The Japanese public broadcaster cited Cho Kang-il, Deputy Director General for North American Affairs, as saying North Korea wouldn't enter dialogue unless the U.S. stops antagonizing his nation. Cho was on his way back from Switzerland, where he attended a meeting on Northeast Asian security. U.S. President Donald Trump was briefed on the missile launch but made no mention of North Korea in remarks at a White House dinner on Thursday night. The president has said all options, including military, are on the table to stop North Korea from obtaining the ability to strike the U.S. with a nuclear weapon, and has questioned the usefulness of talks. These continued provocations only deepen North Korea's diplomatic and economic isolation, U.S. Secretary Rex Tillerson said in a statement. He reiterated a call for China and Russia to take action against the rogue state, saying, "China supplies North Korea with most of its oil. Russia is the largest employer of North Korean forced labor. Here are the options for dealing with North Korea." Quick take Q&A. On Monday, the UN Security Council approved new sanctions after the U.S. dropped key demands such as an oil embargo to win support from Russia and China, both of which can veto any proposals. The resolution seeks to limit oil imports, ban textile exports and increase inspections of ships suspected of carrying cargo in breach of sanctions. The Council plans to convene on Friday in New York at 3 p.m. local time. China's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying said her nation was not at the core of the North Korea problem. China would continue to strictly implement UN resolutions on North Korea, she said. It's irresponsible and unhelpful to unjustly blame others and shirk responsibilities in any form. On Thursday, North Korea had threatened to sink Japan into the sea with a nuclear strike and turn the U.S. into ashes and darkness for agreeing to the latest UN sanctions. "We are in an ever-worsening cycle of escalation and time is on North Korea's side," said Daryl Kimball, executive director of the Washington-based Arms Control Association, who said the country's technicians are getting better. So long as the war of words continues and the lack of communications continues, there is an increasing risk that one side or another miscalculates and we have a situation that can lead to military conflict. South Korean President Moon Jae-in used his strongest language yet to condemn the latest test. "We have the power to smash North Korea into powder and put it beyond recovery if it provokes us or our alliance," he said before chairing a National Security Council meeting. Read more. Smugglers on China-North Korea border undercut sanctions. South Korea's military said it simultaneously conducted a drill in which it fired a ballistic missile into the East Sea, also known as the Sea of Japan. Japan didn't try to shoot down the North Korean missile on Friday, and the situation was similar to when a missile was fired over the country on August 29, government spokesman Yoshihide Suga told reporters. North Korea had called that test a meaningful prelude to containing Guam, and threatened to launch more missiles over Japan into the ocean. In July, North Korea fired 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles on steep trajectories into the sea between the